Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Frontiers of Knowledge. Today, the whole world is worried about two major factors. The first is that the growing population and urbanization and the correspondingly decreasing farm production hold a specter of hunger. And all the people are thinking that we are coming to a stage where there would not be sufficient food for all, where Zen concepts like insect eating are being promoted. And the other fear is the climate change. The world as a whole is not happy, but there have been two initiatives taken recently that hold a lot of hope, not some hope, but a lot of hope for the people. The first initiative is vertical farming, and one startup has decided very clearly that they are going to build vertical farms near each major city in the world. They have identified 500 cities in the world where they will build vertical farms right near where the end users are. Yesterday I was talking about the manufacturing facilities being shifted to the place where the end users are. And here is the agriculture production shifting from the farms, from the villages to the cities. The last few years we have been hearing about the vertical farms, and it is rightly being heralded as the green solution to the global food crisis. It would consist of crops stacking in vertical layers, and it will give more crops per acre than the traditional farming or even the greenhouses, with an added advantage that there will be use of less water, plants will grow faster, and can be used a year around. The facilities can be built anywhere according to the company and according to the concept. And they will be near the cities, helping cut out emissions produced by shipping, transportation, and the spoilage in that transportation as well. So this concept of putting a vertical farm near the cities, and this company, the Silicon Valley startup, and the name is Plenty. The name of the company is Plenty. It's quite interesting. Now, this is a farming indoor company, and they have said that they will ensure that the fresh produce shortage all over the world will be mitigated because 50 cities they are taking up. These farms will be built using LED lighting, micro-sensing technology, and big data processing to deliver high yield of local, organic, and NGO pesticide-free food using less space and less resources and land. It sounds very easy. But do you think it's easy? No. On a small scale, experimenting with vertical farming has been successful, even in Antarctica. But it's quite the case. Say you want to build a vertical farm near New York, or London, or Tokyo, or New Delhi. The problem is going to be the first availability of land, but that can all be managed. What the idea is to have a 20-foot vertical tower rather than a stack of horizontal shelves, which other vertical farms do. So here is a new way So 20-foot vertical towers will be built, and they will be built with amazing something which will reduce pollution. They will be built with a recycled plastic bottles, so no soil is involved. Otherwise, the use of soil can be a problem to bringing soil as well. So water and nutrients are fed from the top of the tower and dispersed by gravity to the leafy greens and herbs that grow horizontally off the tower. All water, including from condensation, is collected and recycled, and the plants receive their light from LED lamps. Thousands of infrared cameras and sensors take measurements of temperature, moisture, plant growth, and data is used to fine-tune the system. On the top of that, plantiforms are controlled environment, so no bugs get in. And since no bugs get in, there is no need of pesticides. They have calculated that you can get 350 times more produce out of an acre of land in this way as compared to the conventional farming, but you use only 1% of water. So 350 times more production and using just 1% of water. This is the most efficient way of agriculture ever thought till date. And this prototype has been built. Now, this is not only talking in the air. They are built in San Francisco, and now they are building in Seattle in Washington. The farm would be 10,000 square feet and is expected to produce 4.5 million pounds of greens annually. Now they have decided that wherever, in which country, in whichever city, the population is more than 1 million, they will build a vertical farm. So far they have identified 500 such cities. And they say they can build a farm year-round in 30 days. And the people who invest would be paid back in 3 to 5 years. So the cost would be down to the rates at par with the traditional produce, and we get premium produce, GMO-free, pesticide-free, saving precious resources like water, which is another problem going to face the world. So this initiative is quite a revolutionary one. And now the second initiative, again, something out of ordinary. A Swiss company has decided to build it. They have decided and they have identified a solution for the emissions. They will extract carbon dioxide from the thin air in Iceland and then pump it in the ground. So they'll transform the gas into rocks far below the ground, thereby slowing the climate change. This Swiss company, Climeworks, has already done it, and now they are putting it on a larger scale. What they plan is to suck 50 tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere in 1 year. It is approximately the same amount of greenhouse gases that an average American family creates. So how they'll suck it, they use special fans and chemicals. And the gas would be dissolved in water and piped 3,300 feet underground, where the carbon would react with rocks and turn into stone itself. It's assumed that it might be costly, but once it's done on a large scale, the cost would come down. As a matter of fact, this is the first test in the world to combine the two. Earlier, we have been capturing carbon dioxide and we have been burying it deep on the floor, but never have these two things been combined. In 2007, they had injected carbon dioxide in a geothermal power plant, and it turned into stone within 2 days. Normally, carbon dioxide turns into stone in centuries. So centuries of compression and transformation of gas into stone has been done in 2 years. It's a completely environmentally benign method of reducing emissions, and the stone produced would be identical to the basalt deposits anywhere in the world, and they are in many places in the world. You know, we are aware that climate change is happening and it's necessary to cut GHG gases, which is not possible to do. So convert those GHG into something which is positive is the best way out. You remember I talked about China capturing carbon dioxide and turning it into diamonds, turning it into ethyl alcohol, biodiesel, turning it into art products. That is a great achievement of China. And now Iceland and Switzerland combine to turn it into stone, into rocks, which form the core of the, or rather the middle portion of the earth. Is extremely good, and it would ensure that in case it's done globally, then the climate change march can be halted. You know, ultimately it's geoengineering, and geoengineering shortcuts are gaining ground and attention the world over. There have been other methods as well which are controversial, like injecting chemicals into stratosphere to dim the sunlight. But when you inject the chemicals into stratosphere, when the rains fall, or when we go out in the stratosphere, if the space travel takes off, that can be harmful to the human beings. So it is costly, but bioengineering seems to be the way out. Sucking carbon from air in a commercial project is one of the extremely interesting way, and Climework claims that they have already done it in Switzerland in experimental process, and they did not exactly convert it to stone, but they allowed it to be in the shape of sand. The first stage is sand, the second is a stone. And that sand was an excellent fertilizer for tomatoes and cucumbers. But unlike rock, plants die and release the gas back into air. So that process was good temporarily, but cannot be a permanent feature. This process of turning into a rock shall be a permanent feature, and there's an added advantage that the crust of the earth would receive more stability, which is being undermined by mining and other activities or underground nuclear tests. They are undermining the stability of the crust. The volcanic activity is undermining the crust of the earth. And when you're building stones under that, you are providing ballast to the crust of the earth, stabilizing it. So it's actually killing two birds with one stone. These two initiatives are really welcome, and they are quite an advance on the existing technologies, and especially the first one who holds great hope for the millions of the people who are either not able to afford food or they get food which is either GMO or polluted. This food would be clean, non-GMO, organic, free of pesticides, and fresh. You can go to the farm and get it. It's just a drive down to the farm. So that has a great hope. And the second one, yes. But let's see how the things mature. Thank you.